Welcome back to the HGC. We're getting ready for our last game of the day here for Europe. We'll have North America later on, but before we start, my name is Trixler. Over there is Caldor, and we are going to start a new series right here, right now. I was talking to chat earlier, and they want to know an important answer to a question here. Hard-hitting questions coming at Caldor.
I'm not sure I like that.
How often do you shave your head a week?
A week?
A week.
Twice.
Twice a week he shaves us. There you go.
One and a half to twice.
That's it, really?
I mean, sometimes it's just lazy. I'm just like, screw it.
You keep it so well kept. Looks good. It's nice.
Yeah, I can teach you. You can have the same experience. I think it would suit you really well.
All right.
That is actually something that we should start. So, chat, what do you actually think about this? You can write us at #HGC Heroes Esports. Should Trixler actually shave his head? I think that's a definite answer right there.
Standings.
We should make a poll, actually. I'm pretty sure that our social media guys out there hear all about this, and they're going to put a poll out there. You have an opportunity. Go to Heroes Esports. I would say in a minute or two and check it out. I'm sure there's going to be a poll or something. And yeah, that's I like it. Can we have him on a single?
He doesn't
just
run
for
the
a second,
show. No,
please. Just so that you have a bit of an idea. Just put him on a single.
What is going on right now? What are we doing this for, guys?
Josh, come on. You have to put him on a single.
There it is, the standing.
Wow.
The show officially starts here. FNATIC with the undefeated at the very top with the 6-0. Team Expert, Team Liquid will be going to the Western Clash. And FNATIC, the #1 team, will be facing off the #8. Caldor, what do you think about that? Only that.
I think that Josh had points to. They had a chance to score points with me, and he simply let it slide. I'm a little bit disappointed by that.
I think he likes me more than you.
I think so too. So right now, the Playing Ducks 1-5 for at least a few games. They are in a decent spot, like not on the last spot in the rankings. That could change, of course, if FNATIC takes it here. And yeah, FNATIC, they have been looking fantastic after the mid-season brawl, and so far they've looked unstoppable. And the Ducks are going to try and change it today, but it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, the last few weeks, HGC Europe has been a little bit all over the place, if you will. We have teams fighting teams to the depth, and the strength of all the teams continue to grow, but the one constant has been FNATIC. FNATIC has just been up there the entire time here. Let's go and look at the schedule for today. If you missed out earlier, we did get a nice 5-game series between the Zealots and the Good Guys. Zealots were able to pull ahead with a victory. They now have a 3-4, where Team Good Guys falls down to 1-6. Playing Ducks will be up next as they take on FNATIC, but later on, North America getting fun here, as Naventic and Even a Death will face off, and then to finish out the day, gosh, a good one here, Team Freedom and Tempo Storm.
Exactly, and Team Freedom has a chance to take down Tempo Storm with a 3-0, and if that happens, it would mean that Tempo Storm doesn't go to the Western Clash, but instead it would be Roll20. So Roll20 is currently looking at that.
Is that a tiebreaker? Or is that actually like legit?
Oh, that would be a tiebreaker.
It would be a tiebreaker.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So then they wouldn't go. It would be a tiebreaker.
We're the EU guys. Cut us some slack.
We just look at it a little bit, but they wouldn't actually immediately qualify. They would have to go into the tiebreaker, and would have another shot there. But yeah, anything else but a 3-0 for Team Freedom would result with Tempo Storm being at the Western Clash. And if I'm not completely mistaken, that's the last team that we are waiting for. The third North American. Gale Force Esports is already qualified, and
the other team.
The other team, exactly. Not No Tomorrow. They dropped out.
Team
Freedom, exactly. They're playing. Okay, so
should be good.
If I'm No Tomorrow, I'm a bit salty.
Yeah, just gonna be a little bit there. We'll see what's gonna happen. But let's go ahead and watch our match coming up next. It's gonna be FNATIC as they take on. Oh my gosh, there was an echo there. FNATIC as they take on the Playing Ducks. Let's get their thoughts about the match.
I mean, obviously, going up against any opponent, we have to make sure we don't underestimate them. So it doesn't matter if we play Playing Ducks or Team Dignitas. However, we are the favorites, and we're just gonna make sure we do our thing and be careful so we don't get cheesed, because their biggest win condition should be trying to do something crazy or trying to put us like outside of our comfort zone. Because if they just take us on standard, I think we should be really fine taking them down convincingly.
Our last matchup on phase 1 will be against FNATIC, which is for sure the hardest matchup in the entire HGC league. And I don't really count any chances for us, but you never know. Like, the European scene has been pretty crazy lately. There's a lot of upsets, but to upset FNATIC, I think the chance is really low, and we're still gonna try our best and hopefully don't show too bad of a performance.
Man, this was kind of harsh there from Chris, but both teams are very realistic right now about what's about to happen.
I think it's good. They are realistic about their chances. They're saying it's going to be hard. We're going to try our best. If we can make something happen, we will. but we have no illusions of who is the favorite heading into the series. So I respect that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, there's some things here that could happen. Playing Ducks come out with a couple of crazy strategies. They did mention they want to run a little bit more on the standard side and rather just play against FNATIC, but there's always a possibility. Maybe FNATIC's looking at the Western Clash a little bit too much and underestimate the Playing Ducks, and Playing Ducks come in there and get a couple wins. So let's go ahead and start it here.
By the way,
game number 1, best
just
of 5
before
series.
we start, I just want to highlight one thing. I had a really cool joke prepared.
Yeah.
When you started to cut me off earlier, and now I forgot about it. It's the one time where I'm trying to be funny as the German here with no humor, and the one time I have a joke, you ruin it.
You got like 8 jokes
on
last
you.
week. I'm
It's
sorry,
just
man.
puns.
I will take that loss from you. You can put it on me.
I forgot about it.
It's okay. We'll get
That's
you.
the worst
We're about
thing.
to cast the
if I
Playing
still,
Ducks.
if I would still remember, you mean, oh wow.
We get to punt it up?
Seriously? Did you
Oh
just
my-
call them a joke?
That's not what I was going
Tim,
for.
that's too much, okay?
That's-
Please. No, sorry, but that's
No,
not
there's
okay.
just puns
I
there.
don't think that's okay.
Will the Playing Ducks soar
Did you
over
just hear that?
FNATIC as we go to Tuma Spider Queen, or will they be sitting on the pond
I'm not
as
angry.
FNATIC does well?
I'm not angry. Just disappointed.
All right, Mr. Calder, what do you think about this match?
Which map?
It's going to be Tuma Spider Queen.
Okay,
Playing
awesome.
Ducks chose it.
I mean, Chris isn't wrong. They are the team that didn't really have any big impact in
Continue.
the season yet. And FNATIC is just looking at that. Stop grinning. FNATIC is that one stable that just can't lose for some reason. So right now, I think I agree with Quacknix. They need to try and drop some cheese. They need to try and have some fun. Don't take it. I wouldn't really take it too serious. Take a comp that you think has synergy, that can fit, but be willing to experiment a little bit and take something from the series. Experiment with stuff that maybe in scrims you already tried. Try it out how it works against the best team in the league.
Sure.
But see this as a learning opportunity and maybe hope to get a map win or two as cheese. If from there on you have an opportunity to snowball, take that chance. But this is one of those series where you can't be afraid of losing a game or two because you're going up against FNATIC and they've just been winning everything.
And FNATIC has done their research. They ban out the Ariel. We've been seeing that double support from the Playing Ducks in the past. And Tassadar will be picked up by FNATIC while Playing Ducks ban out the Genji. And we're going straight into it.
Yeah, so we are keeping with a good old trend that has been seen in a lot of Blizzard games, Protoss Imba. We had the problem in StarCraft. We're trying to deal with it, especially from a Zerg perspective. I have to say that we are still suffering and we're still traumatized. But yeah, in Heroes of the Storm, where is Kerrigan? Where is Zagara? Where are they? Where are our Zergs? Zerg hearts are bleeding. Very little underrepresentation as well, by the way.
I was wondering about Kerrigan today. I was playing her and I was wondering what could be a change that makes her a little bit more appealing.
Oh,
as an option?
easy. You just nerf Protoss.
Okay, well there we go. There's one way. But I was thinking maybe on her leap that she actually gets unstoppable on that the Q. Because that's one of the major problems that she has, is a lot of knockbacks in right now, and she has a really hard time forcing the engages that she wants to get. Do you think that'd be cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Anything that brings her back would be fun. I would like to see a little bit more Kerrigan.
Let's balance it. Let's
She
get
is
in there.
pretty brutal. The cool thing about Kerrigan is that I just like heroes that have a little bit of a higher skill ceiling because of they're more skill shot and combo based than others. So not
Sure.
just point and click. And with Kerrigan you have that. But yeah, overall, I mean, just joking around about the Zergs and the Protoss. First of all, what we're having here is again a high priority on Anubarak. A hero that has been hit by the nerf hammer now in the Stukov patch, so a bit easier to take down. And the Ducks are already heading into a Tracer play here on Tomb of the Spider Queen without the Tassadar being available to them.
Yeah, taken away from FNATIC. It feels like the Tracer pick now when you see a Tassadar picked up, it's just more of a deny. You're trying to keep that synergy away from your opponents. And you might not have the best synergy on your side, but at least you take that away from your opponent. The Anubarak pretty stable here for the Playing Ducks. Nande's been running it for a while, so we'll see how he handles the nerfs that are coming in. On the other side here now, FNATIC can start thinking about what they want to move into.
I would on this map once again like to see them with an ETC. Maybe not right now, but overall, just thinking about the tanks a little bit, ETC would be cool. But as we are talking about this particular pick, so let's see. We have an Uther, for example, available. We have Greymane still around. And wow, they even go into Greymane and Lunara, both of them, before they think about an Uther pick. Now that's pretty cool. We have seen a lot of Lunara plays here. Greymane has been a staple on the map as well. The wave clan, both of them, is fantastic. But that they would actually let Uther slide through in favor of both of them, it's pretty impressive.
FNATIC has been one in the HGC for the last few weeks to play what they want to play, it seems like. They don't really conform to what is considered the meta as much, and they have really been priding themselves on execution and getting the kills where they need to. And with them possibly having that ETC later on, we could be seeing that from them. Playing Ducks on the ban.
One of the coolest tweets that I actually have seen about FNATIC was from Caterpillar when he watched HGC Europe, and he basically commented on how FNATIC plays and said, it always seems that to the mid-game towards level 10 at the beginning, FNATIC is playing on the same level as their opponent, and up to the point where Quacknix just simply says, all right guys, that's it, let's win the game, and all of a sudden they just destroy their opponent. And I think this describes really well what's oftentimes happening, especially when their heroic abilities come online and they run globals. The coordination and the synergy is incredible.
Yeah.
It oftentimes feels like they don't even communicate by words, but it's just this telepathical order now, that target. And all of a sudden you see 5 people jump, even if they're running away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden there's a turnaround and they just blow a target up within half a second. The opponent just stands there like, wait, what just happened? And they get blown up. So that has been FNATIC's biggest strength. And this is something that somehow the Ducks need to break through now. And this is not going to be easy.
It's a testament to how long they've been together. How long have they been playing together in Heroes? A little over...
Ever since Wooby came over from Dignitas, which happened after Leicester, which was at the beginning of 2016. That was the Spring Championship, the regional final in Europe. So yeah, so for 1.5 years now.
1.5 years, yeah.
With that particular constellation.
Wow. Been together for that long, man. You can see what it all brings together. Now, Playing Ducks are moving into the 3rd and 4th. They did ban out the Uther. I actually like FNATIC. Even though they didn't move into the Uther, they didn't have a real stress to do so. Tracer with Uther is a little bit hard to pull off. Tracer's always getting out of range of that Uther. Forces him to kind of chase her around. So Playing Ducks decided to go ahead and ban it out. FNATIC bans out Dahaka, and they'll get Malfurion and Rhaegar instead.
So a double support for Tracer. Now that they don't have Tassadar, they have Malfurion, which after he repeats his Crest Talon on 1 has a bit more wave clear. Rhaegar with the wave clear, of course, as well. So, burst heal over time, and the question still remains, what is FNATIC going to pick? Are we going to simply see them with the Karazim pickup? Morales making it back?
Brightwing to handle Tracer?
That's about it, right?
Yeah, I think you would go... I think I would prefer the Brightwing. Handle that Tracer when she comes in. Polymorph is such a...
You know why I prefer Stitches over Brightwing?
Why?
Brightwing always whines about trying to find friends. Stitches does something about it. He hooks them in and he brings them into the game. So that's what I like about this little fella.
Proactive. That's what Stitches is. Executive order.
Exactly. Like, he sees the problem, he wants more playtime, he hooks them in and he just grabs some friends. Brightwing is just sitting there whining all day. That's why I don't like her.
Brightwing doesn't whine.
Brightwing whines all the time. Friends, friends.
She's excited. That's not whining.
She's whining.
When I get excited about
Brightwing
things...
is whiny, and there she is again. Look at that.
She is, Brightwing and Diablo. Wait a minute. So when I get excited about stuff, you think I'm whining?
Josh, can you please cut to...
Well, 5th pick coming in for the Playing Ducks.
You're not making that voice, though. So that's different. It's not the same thing.
Poor Brightwing, man. I feel bad for her. All right.
I don't.
Rhaegar, Malfurion, Tracer, and Nubrak. Do you grab a little bit more damage, get a little bit more control, and put it all on the Tracer here?
Diablo is going to be so big for FNATIC. We talked a little bit about the start in the draft that they have with Greymane and Lunara. But Diablo is so brutal when he's played by Breeze. I was hoping for an ETC since I love the way that Breeze enables plays from his team with his ETC. But Diablo is about as scary. I think those are the 2 heroes where Breeze excels like no other. The way that he gets these stuns and that he just plays ping pong with you if he has a Diablo at his disposal. We've seen it already happen against, I think it was Team Expert on Infernal Shrines. It was insane. So the Ducks are playing this a bit different now with the solo laner at the bottom. They have a double support with the Sonya on the solo and Tracer for the damage here. Solo lane is definitely going to be something where they will have a bit of an impact. I think FNATIC is going to rotate a whole lot. Probably going to have, I would say, probably the Tassadar at the beginning at the bot lane, and then a few rotations coming in to help him out and put pressure on Sonya and keep her back. But it's just an execution matter. The draft isn't bad by any means. It's a little bit unorthodox to see that double support Tracer comp that we have here. Normally it's with the Tassadar.
Yeah.
Sometimes with Zarya. Very rarely in Europe. But overall, you have the Brightwing for the control on Tracer, you have the stuns, and you have all the slows and the damage over time. one side has Fnatic. So
It's hard to judge here. I was wondering about for that 5th pick, possibly out of the Orc to help without that Diablo. Maybe it'll control him in the front side.
Did your stomach, by the way, just make a noise, or was that a Murloc sound somewhere?
Was that a Murloc sound somewhere? I didn't
know.
hear a
That
Murloc sound.
weird. Was that?
Maybe.
Am I the only one who heard that?
Is there a sound
Alright.
going off?
I didn't say anything. Ignore me.
Okay. Caldor, how was your lunch? Was your lunch okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have to say that there were not that many fries left, though.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
They were really good. I can understand why people ate those.
I was wondering going into game number 1 here.
Do you know what the best thing about my lunch
What?
was? Gilly
What?
brought us coffee.
Gilly did bring us coffee because Gilly is kind, and she's getting prepared for
Yep.
tonight's matches because
She-
North America's going to be killing it.
She makes Bunny happy.
She makes Bunny happy. This is a new meme that he started as of late. That
It's not new. You make Bunny cry is an accepted meme and has been for years. How can you not know that?
I'm not the meme lord here. Out of all the casters here, like there's Dreadnought up here, there's Caldor over here, there's Gilly with her memes. She goes in and out, and then I'm
Wait.
like way down here.
Yeah,
I'm like,
of course.
I'm like, what's a meme again? Can you give me the dictionary on it?
What
Let's
is
go ahead
meme?
and- Yeah, exactly. Meme.
What is meme? I only know Mena, and he plays for Dignitas.
Let's start up here. Game number 1 here, best of 5 series. We're gonna be having Fnatic as they take on the Playing Ducks.
All right. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. The Ducks are up against Fnatic, and we are currently having them on Team of the Spider Queen to the left side, with Sonya played by Eternal, Chris on Tracer, Wolfjaw on Rega, Nanda on Anubarak, and Sport Billy on Malfurion with a double support.
All right, here we go. On the right side in the red, it's going to be Fnatic here. Quatnix playing Lunaris, Mexi playing Brightwing, Wubby on Tassadar, Breeze playing Diablo, and Schwimpy playing Greymane.
Schwimpy on Greymane. And yeah, I'm definitely hyped, especially of course for the Diablo play. Now we've been talking a lot about Breeze and his Diablo, his ETC. But one of the reasons why the hero in general is just fantastic on the map is once again, of course, Devil's Due. It's a fantastic talent if you're guaranteed to grab a lot of globes, and that's definitely the case on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's the globe map, actually. So whenever you go into a battle and you can grab a globe before that, if you have those 100 souls stacked in particular, you have so much sustain when you're heading into these fights that you basically can rely on 2 health pools. And as a high hit point tank like Diablo, you are therefore in an amazing position.
Diablo is such an interesting hero in regards that he needs some kind of patience. Sometimes people pick up Diablo and they think, okay, I have to charge in and try to force fights right away. But there are moments where you can actually dance around the opponent, take some damage, and then force them into a scenario where they think they have the advantage, and then you punish.
It's also funny how different the the difference between a good and a bad Diablo. I love these pictures. Our hero, their hero. Those pictures are absolutely amazing, and if you have their Diablo and you have one of these badass kaijus in there that is completely wrecking entire cities, and then it's like our hero and you see just a frog being placed into it. It's just
Barney the dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely awesome. I'm loving it. So a good Diablo can definitely make and break a game. You have a massive impact. And at the same time, a bad Diablo basically just sees a full soul stack as a second life and runs in, dies over and over again. So Breeze is definitely one of the best in Europe, if not the best Diablo player in Europe. And we are going to find out now if he can have enough of an impact in this game to take down the Ducks.
Continue to watch him here, always looking around for a fight. In the middle, the wave is clear. In the bottom, there was a gank on Eternal, but Eternal, he knows what's up. There's a Diablo on the field here. His job in the bottom lane, even though Sonya can be a bully, is just to stay alive and allow his 4-man to be together and allow Tracer to be a pain and get pulse bombs on the opposing team. So he plays safe and doesn't get poked out.
It's also interesting to see how players have sometimes a lot of personal preference. We talk about Mena and his money pick, which is like his true and tried mount, and at the same time, Breeze on the Diablo always going for this particular skin. And this is something that you see in every game. When StarCraft 2 was in the highest competitive level, players like Grubby and Stefano, Mana, for example, had their very true colors that they always would use. So Grubby and Stefano always in pink, and sometimes the green here for Mana as well. So it's just like these things that you start to pick up as a player at some point, which is important to you.
Well,
but in the game itself, we have the first kill, and it's actually for the Ducks, so they get the first blood here.
That's right. Greymane was looking at purple as he was on the death screen. A big corny to gank on that Greymane in the bottom lane was good here for Playing Ducks to get that pick. Keeping up the pressure here on the side here. Breeze taking some damage on the top, and for the most part, Playing Ducks are doing pretty well. They will have nice wave clear. Remember, they have that Malfurion here, going to be helping for clearing out, and also the Sonya in the bottom lane, so they can get their turn-ins if need be, while FNATIC will be a bit delayed here as Lunara comes online later.
What we also see is that the Ducks are very well aware of the threat that Breeze poses. Just see, what is Breeze looking for? Breeze is looking for a shadow charge into a wall. So every single time he can position himself in a way that someone of the Ducks is running into that scenario, the Ducks are moving away from it. So they are really good with positioning themselves so that Breeze does not get that stun, because they know there will be a follow-up from Lunara and also Greymane. Here, on the other hand, Breeze himself finds himself in trouble since Nanda goes in, and that's a kill. And the Ducks, all of a sudden, with a 2-0 lead, playing a very concentrated and very disciplined early game. I'm really liking what I'm seeing on that end.
Yeah, keeping up the aggression, getting the Diablo picked off. Brightwing tried to save this, the situation by dropping down the Pixie Dust, but the Phase Shield was just not enough there. Tassadar at the same time taking damage, will drop off his own dimensional shift to escape, but the Playing Ducks controlling so well here. They have a turn-in available too, could go ahead and drop it off.
Yeah, Ducks are definitely doing this really well. They're very careful of Diablo, they're positioning themselves quite nicely, and also jump on a single target every time they see an opportunity, with Nanda engaging, Sport really following up with a root. So the coordination is definitely there. And Chris is just using his mobility on Tracer to deliver damage the entire time. When we're talking about delivering, we're talking, of course, also about gems. And now the Ducks have 30 turned in, with FNATIC trailing behind, sitting at 30.
20 more need to be in. Quacknick's taking damage, a third kill. The Playing Ducks really showing up here. FNATIC kind of hurting here and has to pull back.
Yeah, FNATIC needs a bit of a wake-up call apparently, and the Ducks are absolutely happy to deliver. 3 kills against 0, half a level ahead at this point, and 1 gem away from getting that turn-in. And up at the top lane, we're seeing that turning happen as Chris delivers another gem and gets the first Web Weaver wave into the game. So now, the Ducks, sitting on the same talent as FNATIC, both on level 7, both teams, have now an opportunity to push through the walls and gain themselves even more experience.
I mean, let's go ahead and also point out too, FNATIC in the past has shown in the early game that there are spots where the opposing team actually may look really well. They always turn online at level 10. A lot of their compositions are built around the execution and kill particular. Look at the Greymane here for that cursed bullet. So while FNATIC may be taking a couple kills, and that's really good for the Ducks, don't forget the strength of FNATIC. After they hit 10, they always show up.
Yeah, you're definitely right about it. There's also, on the other hand, the fact that this is a very snowbally map, so if the Ducks can run with the advantage, there we have it. That's what we talked about earlier. Breeze sees a chance and jumps in, but Sportbilly is able to escape. The 2 supports are at the top lane, so Sportbilly and Wolfsjaw just healing each other, and FNATIC does not get the kill. Breeze is again trying to put Nanda into a bad spot, but is not able to get the Shadow Charge stun since the wall is just not close enough. And they defend, but they're also still roughly a level behind here. So overall, the Ducks doing well in this early game, and they still have a fair amount of gems, so they could even head into a second turn-in, as long as they delay FNATIC's first, since level 10 is just half a level away.
This might be helpful here. They go in for the fight. Breeze just takes all that damage, though, with the Devil's Due getting a Regen Globe, and Smexy keeping alive with his heals. Breeze steps forward, and now FNATIC will take the opportunity to do their own turn-in.
I have to say it again, I said it before, I really like the way that the Ducks position themselves around Breeze. They don't give him a chance to get these stuns, at least not so far. So they're really respecting Diablo, but they are still being aggressive, diving into the backline and getting their kills. And here we have the Red Web Weavers now turned in. And that was an important turn-in for FNATIC. Just a bit delayed, and the Ducks would pick their level 10, and that would guarantee them a double turn-in with the help of the level 10 abilities. So it's all about the timings here, all about the power spikes that you're hitting. And FNATIC is now up against level 10, so they have to be very careful how they push. But with the Web Weavers, they have a good chance of closing the gap in experience and then relying on their own heroic.
Yes, that's the only issue they have here with their turn-ins. They maybe don't want to fight around level 10. However, Breeze has a different plan. He goes in for the fight. Chris turns around and brings out the auto attacks. Finally, a shield will come out, and FNATIC will dance away from the scenario, but the Web Weaver in the middle gets cleaned up, and so does the one on the bottom. FNATIC doesn't get very much out of that.
And they get a few towers, but they are still behind. They're close in on 10, but as you can see, the Ducks overall got more out of the exchange since they're still ahead in XP. But it's all about the talents, and in talents they're on the same level now. Brightwing with a Blink Heal, also Cursed Bullet at this point, we're having Apocalypse and the Thornwood Vines for Lunara. So let's see how that works out for them. Now FNATIC has an opportunity to try and see if they can maybe force these battles.
Okay, Breeze on the side here. This is where Chris needs to be careful on that Tracer. Diving too far forward could be result in a polymorph, like so. Quacknix turns around, brings up the auto attack, gets him down to half health. Wolf Joe will bring out the heal, but if you go further than that, that might be a death. Eternal gets shredded there and killed by a cocktail.
Also, stun combo, but a nice cleanse comes out and saves Nande. Very well done by Rhaegar, keeping his Anubarak at the front line alive. But as you already pointed out, Sonya, of course, has fallen victim a bit earlier to the cocktail of Greymane. So that was a good kill for Fnatic. And they have enough gems to get another turn in, and they're trying to do that now.
Now it's level 10, though. This is where Fnatic brings a spice into their matches here. They have that turn in, as you mentioned, 2 more gems to be dropped off. And can the Playing Ducks contest against their opponents when it's time for team fighting?
That is something that we are going to see answered very soon. The poke alone from Lunara is already rough, but they have 2 healers, so they can heal up for most of it. But it's really just that pressure that we are seeing here, with also Tassadar heading straight into Archon. And Breeze is just running around here, still waiting for a chance to knock someone into a wall. And that's, of course, going to become even more dangerous after level 16 when he gets the recharge on the cooldown. So look how aggressively he's pushing forward super fast and just scares Nande every single time.
Yeah, quick update here. Breeze also continue to move forward, but also the cocktail Elixir here at 11 out of 15 stacks. So should be seeing the Greymane finish that pretty soon. Schwimpy takes some damage on the bottom side though. Eternal and Chris goes in and a phase shift comes out, but it's too late and we have a Greymane down.
I really like how the Ducks are presenting themselves here. And I think Fnatic is still pushing really hard. And overall, I would still be amazed if the Ducks are able to make a lot happen in the series. But on the first map, the way the Ducks are playing here, I think this is a massive improvement from what they have shown in past games. And this really gives me quite a lot of hope, because they are all the way down at the bottom of the standings in HGC Europe, and they have really struggled hard. But the coordination that they're showcasing here, the rotations on the map and how crisp they move, how they apply pressure to Fnatic's backline, I'm really liking that a lot. This is much better.
Yeah, they're looking good here. Now, we've had games where they've always looked good. The problem is they never actually finish the series and get the victory. They have tons of matches, if you go through the last couple of series, where they're actually getting to game 5s against their opponents. So they're playing well today, and it is only game number 1, but can they push through all the way? That's my question, as Playing Ducks just have yet to actually pull that off. And they're going to need to soon, as they seem to be a little bit more on point. Sonya, in particular, with Chris and that aggression on the bottom lane, have just been shutting down Fnatic.
Yeah, 13 talents are here. And that, of course, is once again even. The Alliance Breeze gets the damage delivered by Tracer, but the poke is still happening. And Whoopi, stun once, twice, needs the dimensional shift out of here, does that. Breeze goes in and goes deep, but the cocoon is used right away against him.
Breeze gonna be landing here, broken open instantly. Wubby with the big Tassadar is gonna be moving in here. The Archon is shredding through their opponents. Eternal willing to turn around though as Sport Billy taps him off. The root will hit Quacknix at the same time. Breeze drops the Apocalypse.
Drops the APOC, but also Malfurion with the silence. Fnatic moving back for now. Eternal is still not out of the danger zone yet, and Schwimpy tries to deliver the kill. Here comes another flip over the stun. Oh, Breeze low, might fall. Eternal moves away and so does Nande. Both of them kept alive by the power of the double support.
Crazy fight between both of our teams. Playing Ducks, if they had lived a little bit more here or gotten a pick, they could have gone in for a turn-in, but the Fnatic will be the team that gets the turn-in here.
Again, talking a bit about their performance, you've been mentioning that there were several games where the Ducks ended up on the 5th game, and you're definitely right about it. They were able to win against Tricked with a 3-2, the only victory that they have, and against TGG, they nearly took it but lost on the 5th map. But the thing that I was mostly talking about was in every other game they played, in the 4 other matches, the 4 other best of 5s, they didn't even take a map. And now, all of a sudden, if you look at how they're presenting themselves here against the best team in the league, you have to ask yourself, if they would have played on that same level, they would have at least been able to take a few more maps, if not a series.
Yeah, would have looked better for them overall. Maybe got an entire series. We'll see here if they can keep moving in, because Fnatic's starting to come on. Remember, Lunara at level 16, Greymane as well with that 13 and 16 coming online. The cocktail finishing up becomes much more powerful. And in terms of actual map control, while we do have more kills for Playing Ducks, Fnatic is ahead. They've gotten more damage on forts.
Yeah, Fnatic is definitely not behind by any means. I mean, they are on level 14, they are also working on the next turn-in, and even with 112 gems in their hands, the Ducks are currently playing quite passive. But they are still bringing the fight to Fnatic overall. I mean, they're keeping up with them, but of course Fnatic is now starting more and more to be dominant on the map. And by now, level 15 is nearly reached, but with the Web Weaver wave completed and the next objective to be hit, FNATIC is already going super deep, gets a kill against Sonya, and robs the Ducks of a couple of gems. So could have even gone for the fort here.
Those gems being dropped, it's going to be painful for the Ducks, but they still have another turn in.
Tracer.
Top lane?
All right, Chris moves back.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he has 32 gems. If he falls here, that would be a disaster. Smexy provides some vision. Goes in just to double check if maybe Tracer's hiding somewhere where they can take her out. That's not the case. But in the meantime, they just move down, and Chris is completely surprised by the Diablo charge. Taking out there Apoc of no consequence, just zoning out the opponent and of course creating some space, but the fort taken out. Breeze was hoping to get another flip over and get another smash, but this is getting rough now for the Ducks. This is really the moment when FNATIC turns it around, and it's a kill against Malfurion, and the Ancestral doesn't hit fast enough.
And FNATIC, this is what we know about them when it comes to getting kills. Suddenly, FNATIC just said, hey guys, let's win the game. And they start pushing in, they start getting kills, and they denied, what, 60 gems in the last couple of kills? Gonna go ahead and go straight for the keep. Keep is burned down right away. It's gonna be a 14-minute keep here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Nande does have a flank set up in case his teammates do spawn, but the Wisp spots him.
FNATIC just half a minute ago was on 14 in level 14 against level 14. There was still a fort and a keep in the mid lane. And now all of a sudden it's just kill after kill. Gems are gone, the fort destroyed, the keep eliminated. We have a 2-level lead for FNATIC. And all of that happened with Breeze flanking Chris, slamming him into the fort, the follow-up kill, and then they get another one right after that. 16 talents now there, and the Ducks are trying to turn it around immediately with another quick cocoon, but this one is already bursted down.
And Breeze will grab a new Brock, pull him to the side here, smash the bug into the ground. Nande gets the ancestral heal. Wubby also taking damage at the same time, but Playing Ducks not looking for the fight. Finally, they do land the spear on top of Wubby, but Breeze goes in and forces it again.
Yeah, Breeze is extremely low though, and there's no shield available now, so he is dying. Is it also the end of Anubarak? Not quite, but you know who's falling? It's Tacita, and this could also be the end of Shrimpy. That's another set of gems lost. Brightwing is dead. Everybody's dead and dying except for Quacknix.
Eternal just run the charge there, moving forward, getting that Nerves of Steel there, keeping himself alive, being able to heal through the damage, and eventually FNATIC will fall. Only 2 people being up here. Breeze with the reset. Remember, he did lose out on his souls. So the boss gets grabbed by the Playing Ducks, and they can also coordinate a turn in here.
Yeah, Solus Diablo currently on the way to the bot lane together with Runara, trying to get at least that Siege Giant camp as we have the Ducks turning in, so they are comboing the boss off with the Web Weavers, but at least the camp that is taken at the bot lane is going to de-push that, so FNATIC has one less lane to care about.
They should be able to clear this out. Thornwood Vines for Lunara, pretty good at using web clear. Clearing up that top lane should be okay. Chris and Eternal are going to break down this fort to make that boss get a little bit more effective in that top lane. Again, if you can get that keep wall opened up, you get a wooden condition off your next Web Weavers. If you're able to break down the keep and get a couple kills, FNATIC is setting up though for an aggressive play. You see Breeze on the left side sniffing out every single angle while FNATIC clears up the top.
But it's 18 versus 18, and the structures are still falling. The Ducks are definitely back. They lost the keep. That's the big problem for them. But they're hitting the earlier level 19. That clear at the top where they killed 4 heroes was fantastic for them, and they're taking a massive lead in experience.
That they are. Could get 19.5 here off the turrets. They had Rhaegar push bottom, so that will be a fort too. Maybe they'll get 20. Breeze goes in for the engage. Breeze takes damage, going down to about half health before being topped off by Smexy.
Yeah, but they still defend against the Web Weavers. But the Ducks are heading into an early level 20. So keep in mind that FNATIC also sacrificed a fair amount of gems as they were attempting to escape at the top. They lost a lot of those, and that of course just immediately shuts down any attempt to get another wave for themselves. They can defend this one easily, but at the top, Tacita is in trouble as he's trying to move out, and this is where the Ducks are trying to maybe even pressure the keep. They move away. Does that immediately with the double storm, and of course now it's all about the level 20. But bosses take it. There's very little to do on the map for the Playing Ducks, but they can turn in. So there's no boss available, nothing else that they can really get, but they have level 20 and they can now make a turn in happen. And once that's the case, they can attempt to drop a keep here, since FNATIC is still struggling to get their Storm Talent.
Yeah, I really liked what they did there. They went ahead and pulled back and looked like they were going for a turn in because they were getting 20, and they went to top to try and gank Tassadar, Wubby was able to get away pretty well, but here's that turn-in as you were mentioning. The delay is kind of hurting them a little bit as it gets time for Fnatic to get towards level 20, but still, they get the turn-in and they can make a move here, especially in that top lane to break down the keep.
Yeah, so the 2 catapults also taken out. That would, of course, help with the defense against the Web Weavers, but we are now talking about the Storm talent advantage, and the Ducks are trying to use it. Fnatic still splitting a little bit, attempting to get their XP, but if you look at the lanes, they can't really do anything. The lanes are, the waves are too far out, so they have to wait until they are pushing in, until they get the experience. But they're so close that just a few more minions should deliver the level 20. And in the mid lane, they're already dealing with exactly that situation, as we have the Ducks with a push at the top, attempting to go for the keep.
Yes, Fnatic has to wait for that 20. Playing Ducks were hoping to break the keep open earlier. They weren't waiting at all. Finally, 20 does connect for Fnatic, and Playing Ducks, you see it immediately. They start to kite on backwards, being careful. Nande, the only one on the front line that can be grabbed by Breeze.
Yeah, top lane is still the lane where the Ducks are likely to make a play if they want to. Because Lunara needs to split bot lane now to deal with the Web Weavers. So up at the top, it's a 4 versus 5 defense. Lunara doesn't have to do too much. Drop a couple of the Thornwood Vines, get a bit of poison damage in, activate your Splintered Spear, and you're going to be able to avoid the burst here. So maybe the wall falls, but that's about it. And the Ducks are accepting that, and they're just saying, okay, let's move back here. So that Web Weaver wave, the last one, didn't really do a whole lot.
Got 2 turrets, I think, but yes, that's it, man. And that's very minimal at 19 minutes. Fnatic now has a chance here to go ahead and start working on their own gems. They have a total of 40 available. They will need 25 more before they can go in for the turn-in. But now they also have the capability to fight. Look at their level 20 here. They got the bolt available for Diablo. You can force a fight at any situation. Makes Playing Ducks play a lot more reserved. At the same time, Tassadar has the Unlimited Archon at 20. So fights for Fnatic are very possible, and we'll see if they'll try and go in.
Yeah, Eternal also still sneaking around down here. This is all about ideally getting a solo kill right now. If you can make that play, that would be awesome, but if not, then you at least want to push out the lanes and grab a few more gems. Both of the teams are sitting at around 46, 41 gems now, and it's all about that third turn-in. But yeah, the fourth actually. So another camp taken out. Both of them really being patient, just waiting, chilling for now. They know that there's no big threat, but Fnatic is actually playing extremely passive at this point.
Yeah, they just want to farm here safely, get their own turn in. They know they have catapults pushing in the middle. They can keep up with that. They don't have any threat to anything coming their way. And their opponents don't have their own turn in. Playing Ducks will go ahead and start turning in now with their 46 gems, but they don't have enough for an actual Web Weaver Unleash. Fnatic with the Wisp do scout all of this and will be able to take a safe turn in on the bottom right side.
Yeah, and they have a nice amount of gems here. They nearly have enough. They just need a few more, and they could go for a complete Web Weaver wave, which is, of course, the main goal here. Both of the teams are dancing around that, and it's just starting to poke the waves out a little bit. So, especially with Shrimpy and his cocktail, Fnatic has good tools at their disposal. Also Lunara, of course, with the Thornwood Vines. They just need to be careful about that Tracer, and that is one of the biggest problems. If she gets into the backline, especially towards Quacknix, and they could be in trouble, so Tassadar needs to have his shield ready.
Fnatic, though, having superior poke here with Cocktail and Lenora, continue to put as much as they can on the Malfurion. Luckily for the Playing Ducks, they did draft double support, so they're holding on pretty well. Nande sees Smexy on the right side, but Smexy will blink heal away, doesn't want to get caught.
It's really interesting how defensive, how passive Fnatic is right now. They're really respecting the Ducks here and their playstyle. But now it's time for a fight, and Breeze goes in. Nice ice block. Malfurion is trying to make sure that there's no aggression against it. Cocoon is already out, though, and this is the time for the Ducks to engage. But bursted down immediately. Chris was attempting to attack Tassadar and Lunara, but gets shut down, and this is all of a sudden time for Fnatic to push the opponent away. Going in again, Breeze dashes forward, Apocalypse is in, hits Malfurion. More than that, Nanda also stunned out, and Fnatic is going for it.
Wubby working in the auto attacks here. Breeze getting low on health, and he will get low, but still alive. He's helping with a Thurnal still here, but Nande falls. A Thurnal finally picked up as Schwimpy dives in. Wolf Joe being auto attacked by Quacknix, and this may be it. If Fnatic can get one more kill, they can definitely go core. There's the third. And there's only 2 standing for the Ducks.
They're trying to jump for Wolf Joe, and they already have him at a slow. Here comes Quacknix with their speed, goes for it. The heal saves Rhaegar, but he's low and has to tap, and the rest of Fnatic is already on the core at this point, trying to end game number 1. 9 kills for Ducks, 7 for FNATIC, but it doesn't matter. It's FNATIC who goes for the core, tries to end the game, and there's only 2 heroes alive, Tracer and Rhaegar, and that's just not enough. FNATIC turning around and dropping the dog.
Rhaegar down, and only Chris will stand the core down to 20%, down to 10, and that's going to be it. FNATIC holds on against the Playing Ducks, but Ducks, they showed up today for game number 1.
Yeah. Where has this team been the last few weeks? This is exactly what we've been talking about. They look so good on paper. You look at their players and you think, hey, these guys are really strong. We have seen them last phase already doing well. Now they have Eternal too, and they just keep losing. And in most of their games, they don't even take a single map. Now they play against the best team in the league, and they are nearly on eye level with them. They push them to the limit. Yep. If that is the same theme now for the entire series, then whatever they did between last week and now, they need to keep continuing doing that, because that would help them not getting crucibled at the end of phase 2.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Playing Ducks, and they did great in game number 1, but we just cannot forget about FNATIC. FNATIC, when it comes to it, at level 10, usually turn it up, but they've also did this against Trick Esports. Remember, Trick Esports came out in game number 1 and looked phenomenal against FNATIC, and then FNATIC realized, okay, maybe we should pull off Angry FNATIC for the next couple of series, and they came out and stomped game 2 and game number 3. So, Playing Ducks, whatever they're doing right now, they've got to keep it up, because in the early game, they did well getting those picks, finding the spots where they can take out their opponents. Shrimpy was having a hard time in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and also then later on, after 14, first the Ducks really crumbled, but then they came back. They got a few kills at the top lane, they get a turn in, and they played safe around it. It's just in that last engagement, Diablo died a little bit too late. He was super low and got a shield just at the right moment. If he doesn't get the shield, that could have been the end of it. He was still able to get 2 stuns in after he was already about to die, and Tassadar helped him out in the last moment. That was definitely a fight that could have turned against them. And if that fight is won by the Ducks, that's potentially game over.
Yeah, gotta agree with you. Well, tweets continue to come in from you guys. You hit up Heroes Esports with the hashtag HGC. So here's one. Playing Ducks is looking